Let me tell you a little secret. I don't do this alone. One of the biggest questions I'm asked is, how did you build your team? Who did you hire? And where did you find them? Well, there's a whole team operating this business basically behind me, and these videos are just one small but very, very important piece of the whole puzzle. And listen, I know that you may be in the solopreneur phase and starting all by yourself. And if you are, comment below. Let me know what stage of your business you're in right now. Because I know you might be in a different phase than I'm in right now. You might not have a team at all, but I have been in your shoes. I have been in your situation. And for anyone that wants to actually build an online business, I know the hard lesson that I learned was that you just can't do it by yourself past a certain point. The solopreneur phase is glorious for a lot of reasons, but if you really want to grow, you ultimately are gonna hit a ceiling as a solopreneur, and bringing on a team is the way to crush and crash through that ceiling and really build the kind of business that you want, and also create the freedom to be able to walk away from your business from time to time if you need to. So I'm gonna be sharing never before seen tips and tools that I've been using for years, like PayPal, and how they've played a vital role in building and managing my global team. So when Team Sunny started, it really wasn't a team, it was really just this girl by herself. And so I think the biggest question when you are running your business by yourself is, how do you know when is the right time to actually bring on a team member? And I remember struggling with this so hard because, if you haven't noticed, I'm a little bit stubborn, and I also am a little impatient. So sometimes that is a blessing and sometimes it's a curse. In this situation, kind of waited to the last minute, and if I could go back in time, I probably would tell myself to do this earlier. But how I really knew that I needed somebody was that I got hired to do my first speaking engagement. I had just started my YouTube channel. The company that hired me to speak was actually looking for a social media expert. They found me on YouTube, which is again why I love YouTube. All of my speaking engagements have come from there. But the speaking engagement was in Europe, and it was my first time going there, and my family is from Italy, so I wanted to go explore and actually take some time to do that. But I knew I couldn't if I didn't have someone at home able to kind of man the fort, answer emails, deal with clients, all of that stuff. So basically, out of pure desperation, I started reaching out to my network. So this is really how we started finding the right person, was I reached out to my network, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. But before I get there, if you are in a place where you feel like you could use the support and you wanna do it better than I did and not do it reactively, my best suggestion for you is to do a task audit. So a task audit basically is looking at everything you're doing in your business. So basically what I do is we have a spreadsheet, and now we do this with every person on the team, just to make sure that if they need support, we can give it to them, or they're doing things that aren't necessarily in their genius zone, we can get someone in to help them do those tasks so they can focus on the things that are actually gonna push the needle in the business. So I did a task audit, and I wrote down everything I was doing on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis in the spreadsheet. And then I gave it a rating of basically 1 through 4. 1 was I am really good at it and I like doing it. 2 was I'm good at it and I don't mind doing it. 3 was I'm good at it but I don't want to be doing it. And 4 was I'm not good at it and I shouldn't be doing it. So I just started basically rating my tasks and realizing all of the things that should be taken off my plate, and things like bookkeeping, a lot of like filing my receipts and my taxes on a monthly basis. Like, I needed help with that stuff. That's not in my genius zone. It's painful for me. Things like scheduling my meetings and my calendar, and answering customer service and dealing with client emails, and all of that I didn't have to be doing myself. So also a lot of like social media posting was another thing right away that I knew I could get help with. So that's the best suggestion I have for starting to do a task audit and figuring out what you're doing that is not actually moving the business forward. And that's the best way to figure out how to start building your business, is like, are you actually hindering your business growth because you're doing too many things that aren't actually bringing in revenue and money and making you profit? Because if you are, then you can't possibly grow. So that really was the moment that I realized, and it was terrifying for me, But the moment I realized I needed some help, I needed to bring somebody on so I could actually continue to grow this business. Otherwise, it was gonna hit a ceiling and I was just basically gonna have to like deal with being burnt out for the rest of my life, which I didn't wanna have to do. And my biggest mindset shift when it came to hiring people is that once I brought on Ayla, who was my first hire, I realized that hiring people is actually the best investment you can make in your growth as a company, because the moment you give the tasks and the items away on your to-do list that you're not the best at to someone who actually is the best at them, that's when things really start to flourish. I have always gone to my network. I've always gone to social media. I've never done a job posting that's been official on a website or anything like that. My methodology for how we found everybody has been through asking. Now, the final piece of really finding the right people and hiring your team is, how do you know you have the right people? Because obviously the fear is you put this time and energy into people and bring them on board and then they're just not the right fit. So how we do it, and this has been so effective for us, is we basically do a test with every person who comes on board. So we will do the initial kind of blast and get applications sent in, and we're very specific with our applications. We'll use things like, you have to put this in the subject line, and it could be something as weird as like an exclamation point has to be in the subject line, because that shows us the person is detail oriented. If they don't do it, we actually won't look at their applications. So having little things and triggers for people when they're applying is a great way to sort of like siphon through the people who aren't the right fit. So that's one thing. And then when we get the applications, we take a look at what they've sent over to us, and we also just get a vibe of kind of, you know, how they would fit in with our company and our team and how quick their turnaround time was to apply. That makes a big difference. And then we'll give them a test. So we will kind of narrow it down to our top 3 to 5 applicants, and we will send them over a mini test when it comes to their expertise. So say we're hiring a copywriter. We actually just went through this and we said, okay, great. We'd love for you to write an email that goes with this YouTube video that Sunny created, and then also create social posts for that as well. And then also, can you write sales copy for this program that we sell that would go on a sales page? So we give them several different things to kind of test things out. And it works super well for a lot of reasons. One, similar to when I was talking about Ayla, it shows your work ethic. It shows your desire to actually work with us, because anybody can write a resume, anybody can apply for a job, but it takes dedication and it takes work ethic to actually put together something that's going to impress the person that you want to work with. And I'm not saying that to sound like an a-hole, I'm saying that because we do get a lot of applicants, and so we need to siphon through the people who just think it would be a cute job to work at for like a little while, but they're not going to be there for the long haul. So I think that knowing the person is willing to do that is a really important part of how we found really great people on our team. And also just like having the face-to-face, because I don't think we've ever hired anybody that we haven't actually met with, whether that's on Zoom if they live in a different part of the world, or we meet with them in real life in Vancouver, both Ayla and I, because we're the people that are gonna be working with them the most, to make sure that it's a good personality fit, culture fit, etc. So those are really the steps that we take to make sure that we're finding the right person for each role. So speaking of finding the right people, and obviously culture is a big thing for us, and making sure that we're all aligned with values, and making sure that we all kind of gel well and have a good synchronicity as a team, we need to find ways to manage our culture, because our team is all over the place. We have someone working for us in Russia, we have someone working for us in Utah, we have someone working for us in Northern California, we have people working for us in Vancouver. Our team's everywhere, and that's awesome, but it can be challenging to actually feel like a team. But I think what I'm really grateful for is that we actually do feel like a team, and I feel like my team is family. And so one of the things that we really have put a focus on is creating tools, or using tools, leveraging tools to create a sense of intimacy. So we use Slack to communicate with our team. We don't use email basically at all. all of our internal communication with our team is done through Slack, and it is a game changer. And we have a channel in Slack just called Appreciations, and it's where we show appreciation for the amazing people on our team and the wins and the things that are going super well. And that's a great way to create that culture and show your gratitude for the people that are working with you. We also use Google Drive to manage all of our processes and our files and our clients, and we have that streamlined. And then we also use Asana to make sure that we're on track with all of our to-dos. So everything that we talk about in Slack, we can create to-dos in Asana. So those are really the three main pieces of technology that we use to create a company culture and to keep things well-oiled and organized. Now, the fact that my team is also all over the map and all over the place comes with certain challenges. And one of those is obviously payment. So figuring out how to make sure that we were able to pay everyone at the beginning was a little bit of a tricky situation, but that's where PayPal came in and has been a tool that I've used in my business from day one, and such an incredible tool for our business. And it's really where we do our customer transactions, we do our invoicing, everything. It's a vital tool for us. And so I was super excited because PayPal actually reached out to me and they wanted to sponsor this video. And I was like, I would actually talk about this and talk about you for free. You don't even need to sponsor it. They are, which is very nice. But they are, like I said, such a critical tool for us every single day. And they've played a big part in how we actually are able to manage our team and keep things moving along in a way where everyone feels like they're getting paid on time and they're feeling valued and supported and all those things. So the thing about PayPal that I absolutely love and why it works so well for our global team is that you can actually send invoices in 25 different currencies, and we work with obviously a lot of different currencies, and over 200 countries. So that makes a big difference when you're managing people in all of these different places. And then the other thing about PayPal that we really love is that obviously we do have a bigger team than we started with, and the ease of this tool is what is super important, because we do want to make sure that people get paid on time and they get paid fast. So basically when we get invoices or we're sending invoices, we know if we're doing it through PayPal, the turnaround time is super, super fast on it. And it's actually, I think it's 78% of invoices are paid within 1 day. And once you're actually paid, you receive your money in minutes, which is a game changer as well when, again, you're dealing with people, say in Russia, to make sure that the payment's actually going through, you don't need to worry about it, and there's never been an issue. And I think the other thing that we love about PayPal invoicing particularly with our business is that you can track and manage all the history. So if you have to go back and review something, or if you need to print off an invoice for tax purposes or whatever it may be, you are able to do that through PayPal itself. Plus you're able to send reminders on PayPal for anything that's unpaid, which also helps us just stay streamlined and organized. And it helps us track like manual payments versus automatic payments and all of that nitty-gritty detail stuff. I'm not the financial whiz in the business, but that's fine. And actually my mom handles all of this, so thanks, Dee Dee. And she is an avid advocate of PayPal because it's made her job a lot easier when it comes to managing team payments, invoicing clients, all of that stuff. PayPal has just been a godsend. So I legit would say all of this without this being a sponsored video, but I'm grateful to PayPal that they reached out to me and they wanted to work with me, and that they're so invested in the entrepreneurs who are, and small businesses that are using their tool, and they're helping people grow empires. Like without PayPal, we really wouldn't be able to grow at the rate that we've grown. So I'm super, super grateful. Here's the amazing thing about having an online business that I never even really took into account when I started it, is that I have the freedom to hire a global team. So what's been so amazing about hiring people from all different cultures and places and walks of life is that it's given us insight into how different places in the world operate, and we've been able to hire truly the best in the world because we weren't just having to stick in our local region. So having a global team is so amazing for so many reasons. You get a diversity of talent, you get the best of the best, you get cultural insight, and you get people who are really truly passionate and all in for your business, which I'm just so grateful for, and I highly recommend it. So if you're starting to feel like maybe you're hitting that breaking point, I hope that you get there and make that decision before I did, because that's my only real thing that I would go back and fix. I don't like saying the word regret, so I'm not gonna say that. But that's the only thing that I would probably go back and fix, is start to bring on people a little earlier or a lot earlier so I could really start building my business and get that support so I could just stay in my genius zone. So with that said, yes, we have this amazing global team, but everything would not be running like a well-oiled machine as it is if we didn't have these tools as well. So things like Google Drive, Slack, Asana, and obviously PayPal to make the payment process and the organization of all the finances way easier for us, which is very, very important because again, it's what keeps business going. And I really honestly go back to the old days when I used to do my DIY invoicing and just store them on my computer, and it was just a disaster. So I'm super grateful that I've been able to move beyond that. So I hope this video was helpful for you. It was such a hot topic that you guys have wanted to hear about for so long from me. So are there any other questions about building a team? If there are, I'm happy to make more videos on this topic. So just comment below. Let me know what you want me to talk about in future videos when it comes to team building or hiring people, etc. And if you liked this video, hit that like button below. Share it with someone who may need help growing a team or is just confused on all the logistics, or just share it with your network because I'm sure it's going to help someone out there. Be sure to subscribe. We do new videos every single week, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.